All right, hi everyone. My name is Kai and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Digix. Thank you again for taking the time to join us for this live session. So we have a brief agenda planned out for today, and I'll start with a short introduction of the team and myself. So I used to be a currency trader on Wall Street with an international investment bank. The 4 years on Wall Street led me to start Digix with my co-founders in 2014. Now, historically, gold has always been a great store of value, and it was being used as a great medium of exchange as well. Now it's our intention to bring that reality back. I also realized that blockchain technology cannot be ignored, and we could all build this company together. Now Anthony is the CTO of Digix, Sean is our marketing director, and we are all co-founders in this business together. Anthony, if you don't mind giving a short introduction about your work experience.
My name is Anthony Euphemio. I am the co-founder and the chief technology officer of Digix. Joined the company at the beginning, and I have been involved with the Ethereum project since the beginning. Basically joined around January of 2014. POC 1, played around with it, provided a lot of feedback to the original development team, and then decided that I wanted to build something on Ethereum. I thought that it was a really interesting concept of having a general purpose blockchain to build decentralized applications. As far as my work experience goes, I've been a software developer for about 18 plus years. I've worked at Intel, NASA, several Wall Street banks and hedge funds, and basically building fintech and a lot of post-trade reconciliation type systems. I actually also did the first Ethereum transaction. That was in block number 46147. That's the first transaction that was ever made on Ethereum on the live blockchain. And I'm also the lead developer of the Ethereum Ruby library.
Right. Hi, my name is Sean, the part of the co-founding team here at Digix, and I lead the marketing efforts here. So I previously also worked in a global investment bank under the wealth management product space, and I definitely saw prospects and challenges that blockchain can bring to the fintech industry. I joined Digix a little less than a year ago when Kai approached me to organize the first ever Ethereum introduction to Singapore. And since then, I developed a huge interest with them and on the blockchain space. On the side, I'm also the lead coordinator for Ethereum Singapore Meetup Group, the largest of its kind here in Asia, with almost close to 300 members. And I'm actively involved in national research projects with ministries in Singapore, as well as the fintech industry.
Awesome, great, thank you. So I'll just start with a brief introduction to the difference between Digix, the legal entity, and DigixDAO. Now this part of Digix, the private entity, operates like a traditional bullion dealer and provides custodial services in Singapore. So we allow users to purchase and store gold by paying us in virtual currency. This itself has been done by several dealers online and in Singapore already. Itself is nothing new. However, the big difference between Digix and traditional bullion retailers is that we store these information of your gold assets on the blockchain and in your Ethereum wallet, not on the cloud, not on the private server, which all our competitors are doing. So this value proposition itself is that it increases transparency, helps to prevent fraud and alteration of such data, and it also makes it transferable. This could only occur with the blockchain protocol that we came up with to track the existence of your asset on the blockchain. Now, to read more information about this protocol, you could come to our website and click on our white paper. So we did launch a live beta platform on January 15 of this year, and we have seen about 40,000 USD worth in sales revenue in the 2 months so far. And please note that this is only live beta. Our entire UI will change very soon. Okay, so what exactly is DigixDAO? DigixDAO itself is an extension beyond the core service offering at Digix. Its intention is to make digital gold a useful medium of exchange online, and also for future decentralized applications and integrations. So for instance, we want to see Digix Gold tokens used to pay for goods and services on the web. We already have plans for that with a recent partnership with Coinify, which is the largest European blockchain payment processor, to see this to reality. We're also in talks with the founders of BitShares to allow our assets to be tradable on the platform. Actually, as a matter of fact, I will be on a call with Ronnie, one of the partners at Open Ledger, right after this conference. We also want our tokens to be used in new applications, such as on Augur to make a market, or in digital gaming platforms at Free My Bank, and also be used to develop various lending platforms that will emerge in the coming months on Ethereum. Now, please know that Ethereum itself is still in its very early stages, so the future infrastructure will be up to all of us who believe in it to build it out. DigixDAO is a way for all of us to work together to achieve this scalability directly with the help of its supporters. So instead of a company or an individual issuing shares, it's a software protocol that does this and issues DAO tokens as a software product sale for full transparency. Now, DigixDAO itself would be more of a bottom-up governance where Digix, the employees of the DAO, would submit project proposals to the DAO to build the platform the way token holders want it. Now, token holders have the final say as to what projects should be approved or rejected, and not Digix. Now, some projects that we propose includes the planned integration of EtherX, which is a permissionless peer-to-peer decentralized exchange, and as mentioned, Coinify to access over 10,000 plus merchants and other integrations as detailed in our Crowdsale document. Now, in return for your support, you get 1, transaction fees of gold tokens on the Ethereum network based on the number of DigixDAO tokens you hold. And 2, you automatically have a voice in directing developments around the Digix Gold platform by being able to pledge on project proposals with these tokens. So Anthony will now explain how projects are approved and rejected by token holders.
So the project flow is actually very, very simple on the DAO itself. So there's 2 classes of token holders. There's the badge holders. These are investors that have invested over at least 15,000 US dollars or more during the crowd sale. So if they, for example, an investor put in 30,000, they would get 2 badges. And these badges can then be used to submit a proposal to the system, to the DAO, which can then be vetted on by the founders and the other badge holders to either approve or decline this proposal. If this project is approved, it gets added into the pledging queue, which then gets voted on by the token holders, the founders, and the proposers on whether to approve or decline this project. Now, this project, the project proposals contain details about what the project entails, and it has a very simple data structure on it. It's basically a proposal that contains an IPFS hash containing the document, the voting start and the voting end time periods, the budget, which is the amount in Ether that this proposal is going to need to complete, and whether it's approved or and then the votes for it. So if a project gets approved, the funds are then released to the Digix core, who then works on the project or pays a consultant or a third-party vendor to complete the project. If there's added additional expenses that might not have been foreseen during the proposal, then a new proposal has to be submitted to release those. So now the funds that are raised during the crowd sale, a lot of people have asked this. They're not held in a multi-sig wallet or a separate wallet. They're held on the DAO itself. So the DAO actually holds the Ether balance, and it can only be released or sent to Digix through the proposal process. It can't be released using any other method. So the proposal is basically the way that we would request funds through the DAO. And it's a very simple structure here, and it contains just the milestones and the budget.
Anthony and Casey, I think over the last couple of webinars, we always have really common questions being thrown around here. So some questions that people typically ask are like, what type of proposal that we could possibly see in technical and non-technical fashion?
Yeah, so some of the examples, as Casey had mentioned earlier, is integrating with existing or new startup payment processors who might want to add gold tokens into their platform to be able to accept that as a form of payment. Another project that we're looking at is integrating with EtherX so that people can easily trade these gold tokens against every other gold or every other Ethereum-based assets that are going to be built, such as the rep tokens, the Slockit tokens, even DigixDAO tokens can be traded against Digix Gold.
Right. Okay.
There's other things such as integrating cold storage service that we're looking at as well, peer-to-peer lending platform, and many others that basically all the proposers and even the DAO token holders can propose this on our chat. So if you guys have any interesting projects that you think that might help, not just Digix Core to increase the gold transactions, but also the Ethereum ecosystem as a whole, because I think that we believe that if the Ethereum ecosystem is big enough, we will have a large audience from that ecosystem with the transaction fees as well.
What is the underlying real difference between DGX tokens and DGD tokens? Is this something we can probably address here? Yeah.
Yeah. So DGX tokens are the gold-backed Ethereum assets that that's the core product of Digix, and that has a storage demurrage fee and a transaction fee, and that can be used as just any kind just a standard token on Ethereum can be sent like Bitcoin or Ether or rep tokens to anybody that has an Ethereum address. And the DGD tokens are basically the DAO tokens. They represent a share of the transaction fees that are collected by the DGX or the Digix Gold platform. So if there's transaction fees collected every quarter, that the transaction fees are kept in a contract that is then released to every token holder proportional to the shares that they have.
Right. I think we can add as well that in the future, if any other tokens that comes on board, be it in silverback coins and stuff, all those transaction fees will be rebated back to the DGD token holders. And yeah, we have one question coming in for Marius. We spoke about the referral program. So have we finalized on how this will work yet?
Likely will not be added until after the crowd sale. So basically, the general idea of this is to reward people that are not just token holders, but also people that refer people to accept Digix gold tokens, either like maybe as an online store. So we want to use these tokens also as a way to reward people. If let's say you have a certain amount of DGD tokens and you work towards getting a large merchant, an online merchant, to accept Digix Gold tokens as a form of payment, then we would find a way to basically reward those users with extra transaction fees or something along those lines in the future. But nothing has been set in stone yet, and I actually would like to see this as a proposal and see what you guys think. So that's sort of what the idea is, that the rewards of the DAO isn't limited to just the transaction fees. The people, the token holders and the badge holders have the opportunity to come up with new ways that we can really bring value to these DAO tokens.
Regarding the DAO tokens again, so I think we mentioned in our terms of sale that any contribution above 15,000 will reward someone with a proposal badge. With regards to this 15,000, common question that people usually ask is this 15,000 a multiplied value, or is it the initial raw value of like 15,000 multiplied by?
Multiplied value. So if you come in earlier and you come in, let's say with $12,000 worth, that would amount to more than 15,000, so you would get a badge. So that incentivizes people to come in early as well.
Yeah, I mean,
for the crowd there.
Right, investment of maybe around the range of 11,500, you could possibly stand to gain almost 15,000. So it's always an early incentive that we give to the DAO funders from here, where you can stand to gain a proposal badge, and this proposal badge entitles you, like what Anthony had mentioned earlier on, allows you to vet, submit proposals as well as pledge. Right, so Casey, Can we speak a little bit about, the future development plans that we have here at Digix?
Yeah, sure. So I believe there are plenty of undiscovered opportunities on Ethereum. There are just so many new dApps that will come out that we have not seen yet because the ecosystem is so young. But I would expect our gold tokens to be used in a lot of different dApps because we use the standard token protocol, and it's basically just calling a function, and then you could therefore have access to use Digix tokens. So you're talking about, say, a peer-to-peer lending platform like BTC Jam, whereby in a decentralized fashion, you could call for a loan from individuals instead from just through a traditional financial institution. So that's one project that we might look to do if we raise above our minimum. Now, as mentioned in the Crowdsale document, there's a couple of projects that we planned to integrate as well, if you don't mind taking a look at it. So Uport, for instance, is a way for us to do KYC as and when if regulations move in that direction. So that itself is a planned integration. So we have EtherX, which makes it easy for you to buy and sell these tokens in a decentralized fashion. That's another planned integration. I mean, there's so many things that you could do with an open gold token like this. So we believe that with these new exciting opportunities, we could, move beyond what the now defunct, the former the former digital gold standard had. At its peak, Ego had about 2 billion worth of transactions in the 90s per year. And with these new developments, I would expect that we could scale in the same direction.
Anthony, any thoughts on the development scene ahead?
So a lot of the things really will come from the DAO token holders. We have a lot of ideas, like the crowdfunding using Digix Gold would actually probably be a very good, interesting thing to have in the future. If you look at the current offerings right now, it's crowdfunding using Ether, and Ether is a very, very volatile cryptocurrency at this point. So that is a risk. There's a volatility risk that people are looking to raise are exposed to, and it would be actually a good thing to have a stable token like gold, which historically has been stable. It's held its value for such a very long time. That something along those lines can be used for a crowdfunding platform or as a crowdfunding token. So those things would need to be built out as far as peripherals and marketing and just the basic integration to get that to work.
Right. Let's speak a little bit about the Digix core and the vendors related to the business here. So, I mean, is there any thoughts on, I think we commonly receive these questions from the public as well. Who do we work with, and who are our custodians, and what kind of gold do we sell?
Yeah, so we only work with entities that are well established in the community and in Singapore. So ValueMax itself is a publicly listed company in Singapore. It engages in traditional pawnbroking as well as bullion dealing. Now, the gold that we buy from them are all LBMA approved. They are Valcambi, which is 99.99% in terms of the quality of the gold bars that we receive. Now, the next entity that we work with is Melka Amit itself. Melka Amit is located at the Singapore Freeport. Now, the Singapore Freeport is like the Fort Knox of Asia, if you put it that way, because it's the only maximum security vault that exists in the Asia Pacific region, with, I would estimate, billions of assets being stored in there. Now, Melka Amit itself is also a custodian for big banks who their gold bullion bars with them as well. So these are the two main entities. Now, we also engage with an independent auditor called Inspectorate. They have been around for hundreds of years already. If you look at their website, Bureaus Veritas, they are an established bullion auditing house.
Yeah, just to add, people have asked about insurance as well. Mm-hmm. We get the insurance through Malka, who is underwritten by Lloyd's of London, which is another fully well-established insurance company. They've insured natural disasters, like some of the bigger natural disasters throughout history, and they've been around and they've had good history. So we feel very secure to use Malka as our service for as custodian.
Right.
So here's a question about plans for a portal to convert fiat. So that is possible. If what that entails really is a lot of legal work, getting the proper permits as far as a money service business, and being able to establish these banking relationships to be able to do fiat conversion would require funds, and the DAO can decide to pay for something like that if we raise enough funds. I think that is possible. Maybe not in this round. Maybe in the next consecutive rounds we can look at that if that's there's a lot of interest in it. Because doing a fiat conversion requires that we are registered as a money service business to be able to do remittance and send these fiat currencies out. As far as the old back credit cards, that actually might happen before a money service business license. So that's more likely than getting fiat currencies out, and that just requires establishing a relationship with a Visa card provider. And there's several of those already out there. The ones that provided Sapo and some other existing gold back debit cards out there. So that is possible. That is actually more likely to happen than a fiat conversion service. So please share our links to everybody that you guys know that might be interested in the crowd sale. Post on Twitter, post on your blogs, and participate in our chat room. We have a public Slack chat room that, if you guys aren't familiar with it yet, you get an invite on our website by just putting your email on the form and clicking submit, and you receive an invite to it. Mm-hmm. So participate and help create like third-party content, create YouTube videos, talk about what we're trying to do here, and share it with people. We're working on the Crowdsale site, and actually just finished that and shared that with the other founders, looking for their feedback for it. And maybe we'll share some of that so you guys can play around with it and get to understand what the process is for joining the Crowdsale. So that'll be coming soon.
Right.
We'll keep you guys posted on that.
Right. And on the marketing front, we currently have 4 different languages available on the sales side: English, Mandarin, Japanese, Spanish. Yeah. So we will be posting more languages up as soon as they're available. And we have been reaching out to different media outlets in China as well on board on the crowd sale. And if at any point in time you have any questions, you may always reach out to us on Slack.